Hello, my friends, and welcome to this walkthrough of the Diversity Project Guidelines. And please note that I'm just kind of walking you through this as I would if we were meeting in person, but it is your responsibility to read through these guidelines and make notes and underline things and really wrap your head around this big project. This is a semester-long endeavor. It is a common assessment, so all the sections of EDPS 322 are doing very similar things here. The purpose of the assignment is to have you really start to explore and understand 6 variables of diversity that each have significant impact on K-12 teaching and learning. We'll be looking at gender, race, socioeconomic status, also known as SES, religion, sexual orientation, and ESL, English as a Second Language. And for each variable, you will ask yourself and ask the literature, in what ways does the variable of blank affect the classroom experiences and academic achievement of K-12 students? The Diversity Project, DP, has 3 parts: research, discussion, and interventions. And part 1 is what you're going to be doing right away at the beginning of the course. And we're going to call this the research component. And you will check the calendar for the due dates. But in this part of the DP, you are to find a piece of scholarly research for, in this case, the variable of gender. That's the first variable that we're studying. And each piece of research chosen should help answer the question posed above. So you're looking for an article that answers or addresses somehow the question of how the variable of gender, in this case, how does it affect classroom experiences and academic achievement of K-12 students? So you're looking for a study that examines somehow the impact of gender on teaching and learning in K-12. So you're going to be locating this article, which we'll go through in a minute how to do that. You will be writing a summary of, after you have read and understood the article, you'll write a summary of your article and you'll be posting it into your small group section discussion area. And then you'll be reading each other's summaries and you'll comment on each other's and discuss the literature. So, how do we go about this? Well, the details. You'll be looking for research that happened in the last 10 years. And you have to look for research that is based in the United States and focused on K-12 students, not on the teachers, not on the administrators, and then you read the article. The research must be conducted using an academic library. And this is an online database, and hopefully you've had some experiences with online databases in other classes. In my day, I used to have to physically go to the library and get into the card catalog and go up to the stacks and find these journals, or plow through something called microfiche, which was like film strips almost of journals. But you've got it made in the shade, because you can sit at your computer at home and get into an online database and search thousands of journals to find literature that will help you answer the question at hand. So I have over here on the side under Diversity Project, I have a tutorial, if you will, of using online databases to find articles. And it's it'll even if you've used online databases before, I recommend you looking at these at this tutorial, because it will give you better help to finding the type of articles that we are looking for this assignment. So you can also click here and that'll take you right to the tutorial. The research must come from scholarly, peer-reviewed education, sociology, or psychology journals. So they're not going to come from popular magazines or newspapers or textbooks. It's going to be peer-reviewed. What do we mean by peer-reviewed? This means that other scholars have reviewed the article and found it to be a very high-quality research. And what's cool is the online databases that you'll be using, you can ask the database to search only the peer-reviewed journals. So, and then I'll show you how to do that in the tutorial. So, the article that you choose needs to be reporting on a research study. You will encounter what I call kind of think pieces or syntheses of studies or position papers, and that's going to be difficult for you to do a summary on following the required format that we'll go over in a few minutes. So look for an actual study, and the article should have, you know, a literature review, and then it should have a methods section and a results section and a discussion section, and that's standard writing format for a research study. So you will read the article, and trust me, you might have to read it a few times to understand, because this is formal academic language, and it's sometimes quite obtuse. So if you've read it a couple of times and you still don't understand the contents of the article and you're not going to be able to summarize it well, for goodness sakes, pick another article. But you will be preparing a one-page, single-spaced word process summary for each research article, minimum of 500 words. And you will start off your summary with the bibliographic information, so the title of the article and the authors and the year and so on, and that part needs to be in APA format. At the very end of this document, by the way, you'll see some sample bibliographic formats that are appropriate. Each summary, so you're going to be doing this over the course of this the semester. You'll be doing this 6 times, but each time you do, you're going to follow the same format. You're going to have a 4-paragraph, 1-page summary. Paragraph 1, you will review the variables being studied in the research. Who's being studied and what is the design? In paragraph 2, you'll review the findings and the author's conclusions. Paragraph 3, you're going to talk a little bit about your personal opinions about the purpose, methodology, and or conclusions of the research. And finally, in paragraph 4, you're going to discuss the article in terms of relevant course material. So you're not going to cite the obvious connection to the material on multicultural education in chapters 5 and 6. But you're going to this is the hardest paragraph for most folks, and it takes a few tries, few summaries before you really have this part down. I've got some examples for you right here, as a matter of fact. So let's take a look at the example. This one happens to be for the variable of ESL, English as a Second Language. The bibliographic information is right up front. In the first paragraph, we have who was studied and how they were studied. Then we come to the paragraph number 2, which is what did the study find? What were the conclusions? Paragraph 3 are some of your opinions as to what you thought of the way the study was conducted. What would you have done differently? And then paragraph 4, remember, is linking this study to course content. So this is a good example of how to do that. Notice that this student talks about academic language, taking English language learners 5 to 7 years to develop. Well, that is definitely content from Woolfolk, our text. It's content from the lecture. Then the student is weaving in theory, Vygotsky's scaffolding. So it's great to use theorists and actual vocabulary from the course. And really, this is where you're really making it all come together, because you've just analyzed a piece of the literature and now you're connecting it to our course content. So this is higher level thinking in paragraph 4. So that's what you're going to do. You're going to write the summary, and then you're going to post it into your small group discussion area. Part 2 starts right away after some things have been posted, after those first summaries on gender have been posted. Part 2 is the discussion component. And again, there are due dates in the calendar you will have to attend to. So you're going to have an opportunity to read, to share your own findings or your own summary of your research that you looked at, and then to read your peers' summaries, and then you're going to have an exchange of ideas, thoughts, and opinions about each other's work and about the variable under study. You are expected to contribute substantively in each of the 6 discussions. How do you do that? Well, you'll be contributing 4 times in each of the 6 threaded discussions. The first contribution is your posting of your summary. So, and what I would suggest here is that you post your summary just right in the text box, like you'd post any comment, just copy and paste it in there, but also attach your summary as an attachment to the threaded discussion that will make it available to me for grading in an easier format. So you'll be posting your first posting is your own summary, and then you will be contributing 3 more times, giving substantive comments in response to students' presentations of their research. Each of the 6 threaded discussions will have a specific time frame within the discussion, within which the discussion must take place, and you'll check the calendar for the due dates. And in order for you to receive credit for each summary and each discussion, you have to adhere to the guidelines in the calendar. And you don't want to wait and post your 3 comments in the 5 minutes during the final hours of the discussion, because that's just showing me that you're not taking this seriously. You should be checking your discussion board on a day after the first posting is done, on a daily basis, contributing to the discussion. A portion of your grade is devoted to timely and substantive participation. Read this paragraph carefully, and then make sure you click here or go over here, because I've got discussion guidelines for you, and that will help you to raise the level of discussion to a higher level thinking exchange, which is what we want. We don't want, good job, I agree, blah, blah, blah. I want to hear you thinking, I want to read you thinking deeply about the issue at hand. So I only have 15 minutes at a pop to record these guided tours, so I'll stop here now, and we'll put up a second tour over in the navigation menu at left to finish out the project guidelines guided tour.